Alright, fuckers, moving on with the beginner roadmap. Artwod, that's ARTWOD. I really wish I should get paid for this shilling, but to be honest, they've been ignoring every single message I've sent to them, which is zero, so it makes sense. But yeah, Artwod, roadmap, beginner roadmap, great shite. But I'm done with the form indication for the time being, right? I'll probably just I think it'll be because okay, what I'm doing right now is going to be single rounding, and I'll explain what that is, right? And I haven't done single rounding properly in months, actually. But as you keep practicing fundamentals, everything just slowly, intuitively seeps into your subconscious. So yeah, and then multiple rounding will be next, and I'll probably just keep doing form indication, single rounding, and multiple rounding. Uh, until I feel as if I've understood the concept very well and I can apply it in novel ways. So and we're going to be finally utilizing a lot more orthographic views, right? So an orthographic view, for example, let's just say we have a nice little box here, right? And let's just say this is the top view. Damn, my penmanship is really going to shine here. If that's the top view, right, then we have a box that looks like, I'm not even going to draw it because I don't even like doing under drawings, but let's just say that's the top view of the box, and then we are rounding the corners, right? What does that mean? That means you are just choosing 2 points. So let's just say these are the 2 points, and then these are the 2 points over here, just following the perspective, trying to keep it as even as possible, right? And then you're just connecting them, and it doesn't have to be even, is what Antonio mentions in his video, right? It doesn't have to be super even. But now this is the top view, where it looks like this. So what would that look like in an actual like 3D object, right? So that would be something like, if we have something sort of this, if this is the top view, we can say this is the perspective. It would be something like that. It's actually a bit off. That's diverging, which is my fault, but that's the idea, right? And then you're just aligning everything. The bottom, like so. That's the idea. And now what I'm trying to do is, yeah, just practice single rounding as much as possible again, right? This will be a great way to practice my lines as well. So let's just go through with it. And I'm going to keep drawing this orthographic view because I feel as if it's going to help a lot, right? So if we do another one, and let's say this is the side view, right? So let's say for the side view we have something like this. So it's rounded on all sides, but then we also have something here. So what would that look like? So that's a side view. We could do something like, that, right? That can be this box, and now we have something coming out. Much larger, right? It's coming all the way up here. like that, right? Maybe it's a bit too, well, just like double the size, right? So we can, okay, it ended up being a bit too tall, but that's essentially what I'm going for. You know, rounding is something that is pretty difficult, but it helps you create interesting shapes. Because the fun thing about rounding is if you really want to practice the rounding in of itself, we could actually start adding cutouts, in my opinion. I think we can, because this will really help me visualize the perspective as well, right? Something like that. And we can round within the shape as well. If I wanted to, I could do something like, let's just say there's another thing here. So it's like, okay, well, I'm starting here. Let's make it jut out slightly so we could have a shape that's essentially always trying to keep the perspective in mind, right? And with this, it's just about you end up creating something that looks unique and kind of more mechanical. See, that's a mistake, right? We really have to keep the the perspective in mind. So this is misaligned, right? But now it's already starting to look a bit more legit, right? What if I just wanted to add a cutout here that's also rounded, right? And over here as well. Lots of, like, this orthographic view, the way it's been restructured in the beginner roadmap, fucking really helps break things down. Right? See, that's just a cutout now. And already it's starting to look more like A, we're practicing this idea that things will round away or round at the edges, and B, we're just trying to keep it in mind as we create this complex shape. I can even do something like this. Right? And now this is also a cutout. Yeah, maybe this is technically incorrect. I shouldn't have added that. But the point is, practicing multiple rounding or single rounding is very good. Teaching with Viggy, practicing single rounding is very good. Hope you learned a lot there. Okay, cool. So let's start making some more rounded shapes, right? So maybe I can have my top view be something like, let's do this. Okay, so this is gonna be my top view. right? And then we could have some, let's say 2 more. Well, let's just say this is the top and the bottom view. And then maybe that and that. Right, that's already creating something pretty unique. And okay, and then maybe something like that. Right, so what could that possibly look like? Well, if we're gonna make this the bottom view as well, we could do something like so it's not gonna be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so that's these two. And then now we just need the encompassing shape, which should be something like this. Right? Again, not like perfectly symmetrical or anything. Now let's just say this is the backside, so we're actually rotating it. This is what we're seeing up here. So let's make this a bit thinner, I guess, because I didn't account for this. As always, not accounting for the little things. But and then it's like a little thing here, right? And I'm trying to differ in the size and the shapes and all that stuff, because it's obviously better in the long run. Yeah, it's better in the long run to get used to different types of rounding, right? That one's really small, and it's actually off center. I think this is diverging slightly. And we still got this back thing here, which you won't really see. But for the sake of just having it be rounded, just so we can see it. And there you go, right? I obviously made this off center, so that's on me. But with this, we can even do a lot, I'd like to think. In terms of just, again, like if we want to practice the rounding, just add a little cutout. So you practice your perspective as well, even though there's already a lot of mistakes happening with my perspective. Right? Even adding like little roundings. Like that can already make this look more interesting, I'd like to think. Yeah, see? And then, okay. There you go. So again, that actually does make sense. I shouldn't have added that. But yeah, like it's an interesting looking shape. So let me take a break. But before I get ahead of myself here, Antonio mentions this one thing, right? Like now we know how we can apply just simple box-like rounding, right? Just rounding to a box into different shapes. And it looks kind of interesting. Or it just looks like something more than just a fucking box, right? But another thing he mentions is it doesn't have to be just like that. The beautiful part about rounding is that we can, if this is my top-down view or my side view, whatever view this is, right? I really, really like the emphasis on the orthographic view because it makes things a lot more easy to understand. So he says, okay, like you could literally, if you were to draw a tractor wheel, right? Tractor wheel has a rounding, but it also has angles, right? So he's like, you can do something like this. Where you're rounding, but now you're cutting it off. Right, actually, I don't think that's what a tractor wheel looks like. Might have fucked that up. But, well, that's the point, right? We can essentially, now, instead of it just being a plain old box that's being rounded, we can have a shape that's something like right? And now we're just now you made a more interesting shape, you know? And we can again practice this sort of rounding while keeping our perspective in mind. By literally just doing it again, but smaller. And then if we want to do it again, it just ta-da! Now we've made this an even more complicated shape purely by adding a little cutout in there. And then we can go even further I would like to think. And do something like, and this can kind of just maybe come out. Right? And now there's like a little connection of sorts. But yeah, you see how you can do a lot of cool things just by changing the way this looks. I know I could have probably done the same example here, but I guess for me, the creativity, quote unquote, shines when I can actually change it up a little bit. So again, I want to, let's try another shape. I really like this orthographic view stuff. It's really fun. And obviously this is just my first little bit, not the rounding, but thinking about it this way, so it's gonna be unique and take time to understand better. Right, so like angling, you could do even something like, okay, we start here and then we round, and then we cut across all the way, and we round and we go up here, right? But then up, there you go, something like that. That's also a very unique shape, right? Now the difficult part is obviously looking at this and trying to be like, okay, what can I do to make this an interesting perspective? So I want this to be this side. So if I were to put it in the box, yeah, this is the part where I'm making it a bit hard for myself, right? Because I want to be able to draw this in a different angle than this, because this is like my go-to angle. It's easy to understand. Let's make it a bit more difficult, and obviously retain this as well. So I guess we can start with what makes the most sense, which is this side. Right? And then yeah, there you go. And now it's a nice little rounded shape that I can just add perspective to. Right. Not perfect, but it is getting there. And again, we can then go down. And there. Now it's, again, we'll call it more of an interesting shape, right? Like these little cutouts. So yeah, I guess that's what I'm gonna try to do. And we can even rotate this. So let's rotate this. And I always have trouble trying to think how I can rotate it. That would be difficult. I guess something like this. I'm trying to think. Slightly different, but it is something. No, these two are like off too. They're diverging. Well, this angle is supposed to be much more extreme, but I fucked it up a little bit. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep trying to, I guess, make interesting quote-unquote shapes out of this rounding, but it is really fun. I think we should start more simple, obviously. This has a lot of things going on. So, slowly but surely. Okay, I'm gonna try to visualize the shape and commit to it to the best of my ability. So let's try something like Jesus. Okay, that was not appropriate. Yeah, okay, so that was off. Let's try again. Okay, so I forgot that part. I mean, that just looks like a Y. This doesn't look like anything. Hard surfacey. I'm really focused on trying to make hard surface looking designs, but maybe I should take a step back. And now that I've tried to imagine it, let's try to put it to orthographic view and see if it can be cleaned up a little, right? So what I was going for was something like this, rounds down, up here, comes back here, and rounds inwards, rounds over this, rounds over that, rounds over there again, goes up, so rounding like that, yeah, and then yeah, something like that is what I was trying to do, but to keep that in mind more. So that looks a bit better. And there's like a lot of tiny little roundings that I'm focusing on, right? This, and then a full rounding. And again, goes down, rounds inwards, comes back up, rounding outward, and then a full rounding again. Here it's like kind of just another small rounding. And this is the box I'm imagining while doing it, right? So yeah, some issues. This should have been higher up, stuff like that. But let's try again. I mean, at this point, maybe the rounding is becoming a bit too nuanced, and I need to make clear distinctions, because now this is just starting to curve, and I'm probably losing the intention, which is the fact that these things are rounding, right? We probably need a good balance between essentially straights and roundings, like curves, right? These do it well because there's straights balanced, but there's not much straight to balance this out. So maybe something else, or maybe I didn't put enough straights, right? But maybe something else would be, it's like this, that, right? It's like this over here. So now we can, okay, we can also put one there and there. So now we can start rounding, right? Like so. Same thing if we have it here, then it's like, okay. And another one here. Maybe that makes it look more hard-edged. Because now we know, okay, that, and now it's a curve. Right, now it's a straight again. It's rounding, a curve. This is just starting to look like a heart, which I didn't realize I did. Wait, that doesn't even make sense. What the fuck did I do here? Ignore that, ignore that. Or maybe I'm focused too much on the orthographic view, and maybe I should just focus on making interesting shapes first. Maybe, like... Yeah, see, that's already more interesting. Than what I was trying to do before. You see, something like that. So in the same vein, I could try, let's see. Right? Start off with that. And then we could see. Now we have kind of some rounding thing going on, right? Get that. And then maybe that, right? That's the shape. Now it's coming out, and same thing's happening here, where we have that way. Up. Out of the perspective a little there. Let's just ignore that. And maybe what sort of rounding thing can be attached here? Let's see. Oh, well, we can do something like that. That does look more interesting, and there is rounding, so Not bad. Okay, let's try again. How much time do I have left? Okay, 20 minutes. Good. Let's take our time to visualize and all that jazz. But okay. But yeah, like again, I know the lines are very shoddy because I'm still working on it, but let's keep going. What else can we do? Okay, that's something. Now, let's see. Jesus, that line was very thick. Yeah, definitely messed that up. But let's see what we can do regarding this. Okay, and something like that. I mean, yeah, my line work is definitely making it look much more shoddy. But the intent is there. Great. It's like a thingy platform. Something like that. Same thing here. And it's rounded, which is okay. Actually, this is not a bad attempt. I'm actually... But something seems off over here. It's like we know that form is being indicated, but at the same time... This looks really off. So I know it should be there, right? Okay, well, it's okay. Let's take a little break. Yeah, rounding is so fun. Because if you can just... It's kind of restrictive in the sense that, again, just like it was with trying to make clusters out of boxes and cylinders, how can we make clusters out of rounded shapes, right? If I just wanted to do a tiny one, let's say like... Right. Now that already looks pretty interesting. And then if we were to, I don't know, that right. I really like the diagonal, like thinking in terms of that, because it feels that my shape design gets slightly better because of that. That's all I have to say. My lines, my lines. Let's just practice some general. I mean, I can't be too frustrated because this is a great practice in keeping my lines consistent. And that's actually the biggest issue that I have, right? It's just consistency. With the lines, right? Thinner, thicker. But just practice. Just practice the shapes. While keeping the perspective in mind. Also just focusing on my line thickness. Yep, that was a fuck up. That was also a mistake. But slowly but surely, I think it's getting better. Slowly but surely. Right, we're just trying to think of a box and then any sort of interesting orthographic cutouts that could be done, right? And even this. Fuck, now somehow I went from having 20 minutes left to 8 minutes left, so yeah, time flies. But let me think. Probably should just keep to simple shapes for the time being until I can and really visualize what type of shape I want, right? Okay, that's not bad. Yep, little rounding, and then let's think of what other types of rounding I could add to this, right? Or maybe I should just do yeah, this is like, oh, it's every one of my drawing sessions always gonna be more gonna be line practice as well, right? Okay, but what other hard surfacey thing can I add in terms of rounding? Well, it's just any shape, really, right? So I could just do something like this. Same thing here. Just do a little draw over, it's fine. Right, that already looks more hard surface-ish, rounding. you know? Okay, this will go down like this. Hold up. I guess this just leaves as that, right? We don't really see any of this angle. Maybe a little bit there. Then it comes down. Something like that. Right? Then I can do the same thing here. Something like that. I'm trying to think this one out, but that still looks like a pretty interesting shape. Right. Wasn't really planned at all either. Yeah, for better or for worse, right? Visualizing is still something I'm working on. And then let's just do one more here. Okay, that's pretty interesting. What if I rounded it this way as well? What would that result in? I guess I'm just thinking of like metal warping, right? Also, this shouldn't have been there, this line. This is more contour manipulation than anything. I don't think this has anything to do with the rounding. But we can... Something like that. That's technically rounded. Right. That's okay. But I am slowly starting to get down the, like, really thinking about visualizing the perspective overall while rounding, right? It's been an hour, but let me think. Let's just practice a few more random shapes. Yeah, we need to start adding some more ellipses into the mix. And that's also going to help with the perspective as well, I'd like to think. Okay. Same thing here. Tried adding a diagonal. Most important thing is to, like as Kim Jong-il says, just to always think about the box, right? I mean, this is fun. Rounding is actually very fun. Obviously, once my lines get better, it'll probably look a bit cleaner, and I'll have more opportunities to make the rounding look better. Right, and if that was changed to this perspective, it would be something like... And I'm allowing these to be mistakes that I can fix afterwards, because that's where the lines get better, right? And same thing if we were to just do it this way, turn this like here, then it would be right, this going a bit more flat, which in turn is now turned up that way for this. Yeah, rounding is very fun, because the fact is you can literally make interesting shapes from it, right? You can even do something like... And this can become like a... And then we can even do something like this, where... something like that. Again, the lines really make it look more shoddy than it needs to be, but it is really good practice as well at the end of the day. And I did fuck this up It's supposed to be more like that. Yeah, see? Yeah, it's supposed to be more like that. But now you got something interesting. So that was great. Honestly, really fun. Did really work my brain to the best of my ability there, I'd like to believe, right? And again, I took the concept, the very simple concept of rounding that Antonio teaches in the artwod beginner roadmap, section 2, form, single rounding, not form rounding. What the fuck am I saying, right? Gotta make sure I shill it to the deepest of the core when it comes to the contents, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I think it was very fruitful. Biggest things are my lines that are holding me back, right? And again, and as you all know, or by you all I mean like what the fucking average of 3 to 4 viewers I get on my videos, that specifically, what the fuck am I trying to say? My lines that I was practicing yesterday, right, is because they're shit. I'm trying to make them less shit. Anyways, as always, fuck you for watching. That's my new thing now, right? I say fuck you for watching. It's like so contrarian. It's like, you know, the prosody or prosed video where it's the anti-YouTuber. That's my whole shtick, I guess. Guys, please don't subscribe. On the inside, I'm fucking desperate for more subscribers. Honestly, apparently subscribers don't even matter much. It's all about view and retention. So hey guys, please don't watch my videos and spend an hour of your life listening to some dipshit talk while he makes shitty lines. Please don't. Okay, now I feel better. Yes, as always, fuck you for watching, and keep drawing, and please give me money. Thank you.